So now let's get started on our next project. On a scale from 1 to 5, 5 being the safest, 1 being the most dangerous, I'm going to rate this between a 1 and a 2 because you will be working with a glue gun. And again, this is one of those craft projects that I strongly recommend that there is some adult supervision and oversight, and then under no circumstances would I allow a young person, a tiny tot, to handle a glue gun. This is one of those crafts that definitely requires adult supervision. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start working on the supply list. So for this craft, you're going to need a pair of scissors again. I mentioned the glue gun, which I've already started heating. And you're going to need these little styrofoam trees, and I got them in various sizes. As you can see here, I got a smaller one and a medium size, and I did the large one for the demo. And then if you have them, like little things that you've collected over the years that will go inside of your tablescape. I got this, believe it or not, this little tray. I love trays for serving things. And so I do collect them. I got this one at IKEA. I don't know how much it was, but it's a really nice one and it's deep and you can carry it. And then I got this Lazy Susan from IKEA, but you can also get it at Walmart. I've seen it there too. And it just allows you to turn things around, especially when you're working on your crafts. And if you decide to put it in a tablescape so that it can turn and people can get to it when they want. Now, I also have candy here, my favorite. And for this particular craft, I asked my daughter to open up these little lifesaver packages for me and stack a whole bunch of them. She did it for the big tree tower that we did. But that's what you need for that. Now, of course, you can go with some of the healthier options. I have some little fruit snacks here and some little Nature Valley. So we don't want to spoil the kids too much. But again, if you're that favorite uncle or favorite aunt, grandma, grandpa, this is the kind of craft that your kids will definitely enjoy. Now, I also have candles that I use for different projects and for different settings. I just turn them upside down. I love candles, and I use them throughout all of these different craft projects anyway during that time of the year. But again, feel free, based on the people that are in your space, and you don't have to use candles for this project. This just adds a little ambience, but there are a lot of non-flammable candles that are on the market. So I would definitely take advantage of some of those sales too when you see them in the different crafting stores. And last but not least, a little ribbon. Now for this project, I'm using the 3.5 inch wide because I'm going to make like a tree skirt. And I'm also going to cover the front of this so that you don't see the wood. And so again, that's where those different rolls and different widths of ribbon come into play. All right, so we have our candy here, some of it that's already been opened. And we have our foam. I'm going to use the little one for the sake of the tutorial. And I have the glue gun all ready to go. And remember, it's something that you do not want little ones to handle. One of the things that I like to encourage people to do is to use different sizes based on what it is, their space requirements, where they are, what they're trying to accomplish. You can use rectangles. I like to use the different surfaces. I like to use mirror for certain things, regular plates. And of course, I mentioned to you I have different types of serving dishes and or chargers. This is a gold one and I have a silver one right here that's the same that you can use just to make a little one if you want to, or you can go all out and make a big one. All right, so I have the foam tree that we're going to use in today's demo, and I'm going to move this up a little bit. Go ahead and move it out of the way. And normally I would have a plate. I think I have a spare plate right here. I'll just move that. There we go. So that I don't get my surface dirty. Just use some newspaper or paper plate, something similar to what I'm doing. And the goal is to, I'm going to take one that you can really see. And the goal is to just apply a little bit of glue at the top away from your fingers. So this is how you're going to use it. You're going to just use a little dot of glue there, just enough. Pull that away because that glue, if it gets on your skin, it's going to burn and it hurts. Ask me how I know. And you just want to hold it there for a few seconds and just move around and continue throughout your project until you're finished. And again, the objectives is I like to work from the top, right? So I'm going to move around here. And I'm not really worried about what goes on the top. You can be creative. You could put just about anything up there. Literally, I took a bow again from my presents and wrapping paper box that I like to maintain, and I put that right on top. So you can keep it moving like that. You can take that little tape off and tack it down if you want. I just wanted to show you how easy it is to come up with whatever you want to do. I mean, you have the creative license to do whatever it is that you want. But again, the goal is to keep that hot glue away from your fingers and try not to eat the candy. Again, I love candy. So this is one of those desserts. This is one of those crafts that I really get into and I have a lot of fun doing with my children. And for the most part, when they were younger, they would eat the candy anyway. So there you go. And you just keep working your way down until you get to the bottom of that. All right. Now, you're going to have some spaces that aren't filled in. And really, to do this project, a project on that scale, you need about 3 bags of candy. But if you're doing a smaller scale project, maybe 1 bag, a bag and a half, and then you can use the rest of it to fill in your tablescape. So do what you can. All of these projects that we're doing, by the way, cost less than $25 each. Again, because I took advantage of those sales, and I have a lot of stuff that I've collected over the years for different themes that I'm doing because I like to change it up. So I've found great things at like your dollar stores and all over. So make sure you're looking at all of those different locations for those great discounts for your projects. So once that's done, it's literally movable seconds after you do it because that glue dries pretty quickly. And then we're going to move that out of the way, and I'm going to come back and then we're going to put it all together so that I can show you what that end product looks like. All right, so now that I moved the glue gun out of the way, I want to start putting this together. And I didn't want to paint it because I want to use it for different projects that we're going to be doing. And again, check the links below for that 25 essential tool video that I put together that shows you how I'm using the tools, some of the tools that we're using in today's video. Now, once I have all of my trees done, you can just place them in here however you want to. And I just started putting my little trees. Again, I've had these for a while. Throughout, I use my candles, different heights. I turn them over. I put them on, turn them upside down. You can just use shot glasses if you have them, and put them on different levels if you want. You can use some double-sided tape to hold things down if you don't want things to move around. But, I'm just doing this kind of casually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting in my candies. Bad stuff, a little bit of, bad stuff. But I love this because you can have this by the door. As people start to come in, you can have it in a very nicely put together location where you have all of your little snacks and things for the kids and for the adults as well. Just start filling that in with all of the treats and things that you want to use for your holidays. And then just start moving things around. I have my other trees over there. And then once you have it all situated the way that you want, I would then take some of the ribbon that you have, and I would make a little tree skirt to go around it that hides the bottom for the things that you weren't able to finish up at the bottom. You may have run out of candy or whatever the case may be. Just put a little tree skirt in there, and you can put that underneath the candy that's in the container. Maybe put a little bit on top to weigh it down a little bit. There you go. It's like that. Really, it's not perfect. It's not meant to be perfect. And you can either even put a little straight pin back there to weigh it down. However you want to do it. It's up to you. And once you have everything in there, I take a little bit more of the ribbon. You don't even have to use this. So this is all optional at the end. I was just putting some finishing touches on it based on, put some of these in here that still have the packaging on them. And the good thing about this candy craft is, I mean, if you like candy, it's perfect. You put your dinner mints in there so that after people have a lovely meal, they have some nice dinner mints. And it makes a great conversation piece. And as you can see, I took a little bit more of that 3.5-inch ribbon. And again, you can just tack it down with some of your double-sided tape. And what I love about these crafts is that, again, they're very inexpensive to do, especially if you're collecting things over a period of time. You would be surprised what you already have in your collection. And tack that down so that you can see how it looks at the end. If it's on that Lazy Susan, it's all the better. If not, if it's just stationary, that's fine too. But if it's on a table somewhere, it allows people to get to the treats that they enjoy. And again, it also makes a wonderful conversation in terms of the crafts that you're able to do with your family and friends. I would love to get your feedback and your comments below on how easy or difficult you think it would be to do this type of craft, and the comments you'll get at your next holiday celebration. So for this next craft, which is the easiest, I saved the easiest for last. Really all it requires is a couple of bags of cranberries and a couple of candles and a couple of vases or vases, depending on where you're from. So as I said in the previous segment, this is the last craft, and it is the least expensive and probably the easiest when you think about it, because all you need for this is some water and a couple of hurricane glasses or votives or vases or vases, depending on where you come from. And these are just some glasses that I had in the house. Now, I'm going to lay these to the side so that while I'm pouring water, air is allowed to get in there, and just be gentle with it in terms of safety. Again, you're working with glass, and probably the only thing that I would allow the children to do is put in the cranberries and maybe light the candle if they're old enough to do so. If not, again, use those artificial lit candles that don't require any flames or fire or any of that, okay? So I'm laying these on the side because when you just pour this water into it without allowing air to get inside, your glass will topple over and you might break it. So that's why I'm showing it to you this way. But you don't even have to put them in a hurricane glass. You could just put your cranberries in a dish, a very shallow dish like this, and put a couple of floating candles in there. Same effect, just as beautiful. Again, safety wise, on a scale from 1 to 5, I would give it a 4 or 5, meaning that I think it's safe if you're not allowing your little ones to play with the flames. So again, take advantage of those artificial sources of flame, the flameless candles. Now with that being said, I've poured water into this one, but because I laid it to the side, there's not a lot of air in there, and so it's more it has the ability to be more stable. And the same thing that I'm going to do for this one as well. I'm just going to pour water around it. And you want them to be even. I don't have a whole lot of water in here, but I think you'll get the gist of what it is that we're doing for this demo. And your glass is stable in here. You use plastic. Again, it's entirely up to you. The thing that was the most difficult to get in July for this demo was the cranberries, believe it or not. I went everywhere looking for those cranberries, and they did not have the fresh ones in the bag, which are the ones that I'm recommending, but I did find some frozen ones, and they work. Now, you don't want to use the frozen ones for your project because with the fresh ones, you can leave them out for a couple days, up to a week, and they won't go bad on you, but I can't say the same for the frozen ones. We're just doing them for today's demo. And then what I'm doing is I'm just putting them around, and they're buoyant, so they float, and they're so pretty. And again, probably you'll only need about a couple bags for this type of craft. It's very easy to do. And I'm gonna take the one out of there. And the more you put in, I think the more color is added. I just don't want to open up that second bag because I can use them. And then all I do is I put in a candle, and I light the candle, and it can sit on your dinner table, and it's so pretty, and it just gives you that pop of color. And you know, because I was really heavily invested into my red and green theme, it was the perfect setup. You can use smaller candles. I've shown you different sizes that you can use. You can use the tea lights if you want, and the smaller ones that kind of look like they fit into shot glasses. Candles are good to have anyway around that time of the year, but now that they have the flameless candles, they're just as nice. Then we can go ahead and light them. I wouldn't add any more water past the line here on the top of the glass or whatever you use to raise up your candle, but then I would just fill it with enough berries so that you have a more full appearance for your tablescape. Please share, like, and subscribe, and set the alert button. That way you'll be the first to know when I drop a new video. I hope that you enjoyed today's Christmas and July video, and I hope that you take advantage of some of those sales that you will see at the beginning of the year and be prepared for what's coming next July. Also, check out the links below the video on other videos that I do that I'm sure will help you with your design and decoration projects for your home. I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, take care.